Okay, so on number one, well, this first group right here. All right, so on the first one, for SSS, do I have enough information on these triangles right here?
You got a pencil?
No.
Nope. In fact, I need a lot of information, right? There's a lot of stuff I need to know. So one thing I need to know is that those two sides are congruent, right? So I need to know that AC is congruent to what? XZ. What else do I need to know?
CB is congruent.
Okay, so AB is congruent to XY. Okay, is that enough information right there to use SSS to prove those two triangles are congruent?
Yes.
Okay? No, it's not, because look, I only have one set of sides, a second set of sides. So I have one of these and a second one, but I don't have the third one. So there's still not enough. So what else do I need to know? Okay? You need to know that CB is congruent to ZY. All right? So that's what we need for that.
I can't see, sir.
All right? So for side angle side, now if you'll notice on the picture here, there's already two sets of angles that are congruent. So there's this one and this one, and this one and this one. And for side angle side, I only need one angle. So it doesn't matter. I could use either one of these. I'm going to go ahead and go with C and Z, okay? I'm going to use these two up here for my side angle side. So I'm going to start off with this and this. I'm going to say AB is, or I'm sorry, my bad, AC. Okay, AC is congruent to XZ. And then if I'm going to use this angle right here, like I already said, what else do I need for side angle side? CB congruent to ZY. Need to know this congruent to this for side angle side. Okay. Next one, for angle side. Okay, AB congruent to XY, that would be good. Because if you notice with that, we have angle, side. But I also want you to see this, that I could have done that another way. What's another way I could have done that? I could have gone right here. That would work also, because that would give me angle, side as well. So either of those two ways would be good. Okay, then on the last one for this, the angle side angle, there's really only one way to do this. AC congruent to XZ. Okay. Now, again, remember the difference between angle side, and angle side angle is that with the angle side angle, right here, ASA, the S is directly between the two A's, and that's what's going on right here. This side that I marked is right between those two angles, okay? Whereas whenever I marked it over here, it was not between the two angles for angle side. Okay, now if these two triangles are congruent, I want to write the overall congruent statement. So I'm going to say like this. Triangle ABC is congruent to what? Okay, good. Because if you notice, A has how many marks on it?
2.
Bless you. It has 2. What's the other one that has 2 marks?
X.
X. So whenever I'm writing this down here, since I put A first here, A matches up to X. X has to be the first one here. Okay? All right, the B. Okay? On here, the B has no marks. Which one has no marks on the other one?
Y.
The Y. So the B and the Y have to get matched up. And then obviously, the C has 1 mark. The Z has 1 mark. Those get matched up. Okay. Now again, people have the question of, so like right here. So ABC. Do you have to write it as ABC? And the answer is no. I could have put BAC, but then I just have to make sure that I write these to match back up to that.
Or YXZ. YXZ.
Would have been YXZ. Yep. I just put ABC because it's alphabetical order. That just makes sense. Yeah. Okay? All right. Next one. All right, so on these two, the three angles of a triangle always add up to what?
180.
They always add up to 180 degrees total for those three angles. So on this one, I want that missing angle. So we've got 180 minus 130 minus 25. Start with 180, take off the 130, take off the 25, and what's left?
25.
Is 25. So this angle right here is 25 degrees. Again, all this stuff is just review of stuff we've been doing for this whole unit. There's nothing new we're learning today. Okay, on this one, same thing. 180 minus 127 minus 27
26.
is 26. Which is weird, but that's what it is, to make those add up to 180.
Oh, bro, you cheating.
Okay, so down at the bottom on this proof. So on the first statement, I is the midpoint of XM. How do we know I is the midpoint of XM?
Given.
Good, because it's given. It's given to us right here. All right? So I is the midpoint of XM. So let's think about what that tells us on here. So I is exactly halfway between X and M. So I cuts XM exactly in half. So what does it tell me about this piece and this piece right here? They're congruent. So I know that this piece is congruent to this piece right here. And so what I'm going to do on the statement 2 is I'm going to write in letters what I just marked up there. So I'm going to say XI is congruent to what? MI. Good job. XI is congruent to MI. And the reason that's true is that's the definition of a midpoint. That's just what a midpoint does. It cuts something exactly in half, making two congruent pieces. Okay, now for statement 3, it says I is the midpoint of AO. How do I know that's true? Yep, right here. That's given also. All right. So what that means is going the other way, I is the midpoint of AO. So it's the exact same thing. I know that this piece is congruent to this piece right here. So let's write down in letters what we just marked there. So AI is congruent to what? To OI. And the reason that's true is the same reason that number 2 is true. How do I know AI is congruent to OI? Because it's just the definition of a midpoint. That's what a midpoint does. Okay, on number 5, it says that angle AIX is congruent to angle OIM, which is this one. Okay, how do I know those two angles are congruent to each other? Because of what? Good. They're vertical angles. That's right. Okay, so we get to step 6, and we're getting to what we're trying to prove, that these two triangles are congruent to each other. So now I've got everything I need. How can I say that these two triangles, that this triangle and this triangle are congruent to each other? Good. By side, angle, side. All right, so those two are congruent by side, angle, side.
What's that box for?
The box just says, you're done. We're finished on that. Okay, on the back. Okay, are these two triangles congruent to each other?
Yes, sir.
And the answer is yes. Now, how can we say that they're congruent to each other?
Put them together.
Yep. You could cut them out, lay them on top of each other and see that they're congruent, but there's another way to know that. Good, by angle, angle, side. So you've got angle, angle, side. Now, I want a congruent statement here. Okay, now I didn't write these questions, okay? So I didn't do this, but okay. So angle DOG or triangle DOG, okay, is congruent to. All right. So when you look up here, angle D has how many marks in it? None. What's the other angle that has no marks on the other one? Is C. So C goes here. Okay, the O. Okay, O has one mark. What has one mark up on this other one? Is the A. And then the G has two marks. What matches to that? The T. So there you go. Triangle dog is congruent to triangle cat. Okay, next one. Reflexive property says that side's congruent to itself if you were to split it apart. So how are those two triangles congruent? SSS. Okay, I don't think the person who wrote these questions had anything in mind on this one. I haven't been able to figure it out, but I'm just going to say triangle HPN is congruent to triangle. What do you think?
XP.
Okay, good. So when you think about it, you have angle H, and what's going to be the same as angle H down on this other one? Is the angle X, right? So you have H and X is going to be the same. So since I've got H as the first letter here, X has to be the first letter here to match up to that H. And then the P is going to match up to itself, and the N is going to match up to itself. So triangle HPN is congruent to triangle XPN. All right, third one. Are those two triangles congruent?
No, sir.
Yep. How? By SSS. One set of sides right here, another set of sides here, and another set of sides here. So there's your SSS. Okay? So I'm going to do this triangle SOL. And again, I'm putting SOL because I know the word they're trying to spell here, but I could have just wrote triangle LOS. That'd be fine. But then I'd have to make sure that the ones on the other match up to that. But I'm going to do the SOL. So what matches up to the S? The V. What matches up to the O? E. And what matches up to the L? D. Okay, you solved this problem. Okay. All right, next one. Are these two triangles congruent?
Yes.
Yes. How? Angle, side, angle. Okay, and then again on this one, I know where they're going with this, so I'm going to go EUC. Okay, EUC, congruent to triangle. Okay, what matches up to the E?
Oh. L.
See, the E has 2 marks, the L has 2 marks. Okay, the U has no marks. What's the one that has no marks on the other one?
I.
I. And then the D has 3 marks. That matches up to this. The C and D match up, so it's like that. Okay, so you probably don't know this word, but this word is Euclid, which Euclid is a famous mathematician, from hundreds of years ago. In fact, all the geometry we do now is called Euclidean geometry, named from that guy. Okay, so very famous mathematician.
I got a question.
Yes.
Isn't that also
That's named close to that, but I can't think of it. Okay, on this next one, what are these two triangles congruent?
Yes.
Yes, how? Side angle side. And I've tried all day long. I cannot figure out if they have anything in mind on this one.
Matt?
But ref would be MTA to make it match. That'd be refnta. So fur, and that would be good, but if it was fur, that would be ATM. And that's probably what they meant, I think. They just got them switched because Fermat is actually Fermat, and he's another famous mathematician. So that's probably what they had in mind, but I can't think of what else it would be. If it would be TAM, that doesn't do anything. MAT, RFE, there's nothing. So anyways, I'm going to go REF congruent to what? MTA. Refnta. Refnta. Okay. This last one. Are these two triangles congruent?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Because what is this? Angle, angle, angle. And that's not enough information. Remember, there's 2 ways that do not prove congruence. There's angle, 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 and the other one, the ASS one, right?
Did they not?
So this one's not enough info right here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is a gallery walk. Got these problems out in the hallway. So you can start at any problem that you want to, okay? And you'll see that there's these Greek letters associated. Hang on, sit down for just a second, please. You'll see these Greek letters associated with it. Like this is alpha and beta right here. And so you can start wherever you want to. You'll work it out. And then you'll get the answer, write the answer over here.
Where's
Now,
Charlie?
Do what?
Where's Charlie?
Where's Charlie at?
What do you mean Charlie?
C. What's C?
Where's Joe?
You know, like alpha, beta.
Who is Joe?
Okay.
Where's Joe at? Joe.
I know most of these. There's several of these that I don't know. Okay. What I want you to do though is whatever you're like marking on the picture, whatever, don't mark on the one that's in the hallway. Okay? I made sure and had this where it's big enough on your paper where you can make marks and stuff. So please don't mark on the ones out in the hallway. So what you're going to do is you're going to work a problem out, get the answer, then you'll find the one that says answer from the previous problem, then you'll go to that one. And it's not going to go like in order of this. It's going to be bouncing around to different problems, okay? You'll need your calculator for probably 2 or 3 problems, so I would take it out there, okay? All right, let's go out there. Please keep your voices down.